Star Trek, the animated series. We are introduced to some weird and wacky things in this episode, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this review of Bem. Bem, alien Bem can change his abdomen and walk with his halves in a weird place. The episode starts off with our captain approaching a planet. He's doing a study. They've got an ambassador named Bem, of whom apparently hasn't been a very good ambassador and hasn't actually gone to any planets, except he decides he wants to go to this one. Kirk, getting a bit pissy at him, tells him, you haven't been involved in any of the other missions, so why the fuck do you want this one? But relents. They beam down and they're on the planet. And the best part about them beaming down is they beam slightly off a cliff because Bem has sabotaged the transporter. So Kirk, Spock, and Bem fall into the ocean. Now, so the top halves are out of the ocean, their bottom halves are under the ocean. And this is when we see Bem's secret superpower, which is splitting in half and having two weird tentacly hands come out of his abdomen. Walk over to Spock and Kirk, take their communicator and phaser and replace them with another communicator and phaser. And then they get out. They go for a walk. They see there's a weird anomaly on the planet which drew their attention. A sensor wave or something. Bem decides, after seeing some native peoples, that he's going to run away, and he just runs away. Kirk and Spock go after him. Scotty and that to stay back. Bem gets like into a jungle entanglement and then just splits up. Head, arms, legs, abdomen. Like he just splits completely apart. And then gets to the other side, runs away, and Kirk and Spock are like, what the fuck is going on? They try to communicate with the Enterprise and with the other away team and find out that their communicators and phasers are fake. They're not real. They are really, really good replicas, according to Spock. A Star Trek collector's dream. Literally, Star Trek collector's dream. Oh, I pressed the long audio button. Yes. I don't know what this is. I'm picking up NPR, ABC News. Thank you. He escapes, but he gets captured by the reptile natives. They look like another group of lizard people, like last season. And Kirk and Spock obviously want to go and rescue him. They go up to his cage. They try to get him out. He sort of says, you guys are shit. You're not handling things correctly. He gives them their phasers, communicators back. And then we are greeted by the voice of all-powerful God, which is Nichelle Nichols. Basically saying, what are you doing here? You're going to hurt my people. I take care of them, and she locks them back up, basically. And we get this, we get this happen. So, Bem decides to leave. He's just like, you guys aren't worth my time, and he leaves. Kirk and Spock want to keep in contact with the godlike being that they've been talking to. Kirk can't get through, the signal's not strong enough, so Spock and Kirk link their communicators and make a big EMP sonic boom. The God communicates with them. He basically says, look, if you let us go, we'll leave and we'll never come back, and you can look after your people by themselves. And she talks about how she guides them and his people and how and in their development, which is interesting. Spock does insinuate in this episode that this is a god. The animated series has more God references than TOS, I swear. Or maybe I'm just not remembering TOS correctly. Spock and Kirk communicate with the Enterprise because their phasers were destroyed by the God earlier. Say, beam down and we're going to get Bem. So they beam down. They use the lowest possible stun setting on the native creatures. And they find Bem, who's been captured again. Why he can't just separate his body bits and fly, because he can hover, apparently. They capture him, and the god lady is pissed. She's like, why have you not left yet? And Kirk's like, we can't leave a member of our people behind. And they start going, and do you know when people say things are woke or have an intended message? Animated series does this a lot, and I think it's because they don't have as much time, so sometimes they just have to tell you the message that they're trying to convey. So the God talks about how she's guiding these people and she doesn't believe in punishment and how it's an evolved being thing and you have to grow, you can't seek revenge. Big moral lessons on how to deal with anger and hatred and sort of guiding people in the right direction. She sort of gives forgiveness to Bem for misunderstanding, and Bem is going to kill himself. And she's like, no, you've learned your lesson and you need to learn your lesson. That's the important thing for you to do and anyone to do. Very, very preachy ending. It's almost, yeah, as I said, the animated series, I think because the episodes are so short, sometimes they want to tell you the message. And I don't really, and sometimes they don't really convey the message very well, so it's kind of important. Kirk and Spock agree to leave and will put warnings out to the Federation never to come there again. Bem goes with them and they talk about how mystical and amazing this creature is. Now, this is season 2, but I've only just finished season 1, so it doesn't feel like anything new has happened, anything different's happened. I do like, once again, the alien designs. I think Bem having his weird detachable body is quite interesting. I don't know how that works. I'd like, once again, see it in live action. I'd love to see his body detach and do wacky things. Maybe Strange New Worlds season 4. But overall, the message of this episode is sort of forgiveness and growth and learning from your mistakes, of which they don't really convey until the last 5 minutes, and it's only because Bem decides he's going to admit to making any mistakes, because earlier in the episode he's like, no, Kirk and Spock, you're a bit shit. And I think it doesn't play out very well. Once again, the native peoples, and they use a word which is very common in old colonizer plays. In Australia, we don't use that word anymore. It's moderately offensive, so we would say Aboriginal instead of the shortened form this was used. So I was sitting there going, did they use that name deliberately? And it doesn't seem like they did, because it is also a scientific term, while an outdated one, so from the 70s. So taking into the time that this was made, I don't think it was intentionally done. I think it was, and I also don't think that Star Trek or America has the, I want to say, awareness of Aboriginal culture within Australia, especially back in the 70s. So I don't think that it was that. But overall, it's a fun little episode. It's nothing new. This season only has 6 episodes, and I really don't know what to review next once this is over, so maybe put that in the comments. I have been Trek Trav, and I will see you on Thursday, depending where you are in the world, for your Star Trek Enterprise review.